going on, man?
How's it going?
Pretty just checking out some of these scores for the first time here across the bottom, man. How about Dade County? That's got to be the score of the night, huh?
Yeah, I watched the last probably 4 minutes. Dade scored to go up. They had a false start or some kind of penalty, 5-yard penalty, backed them up on the extra point. And they did make the extra point, went up 21-20. And Pepperell got the ball, went down the field, and attempted a field goal. I'm not sure where they were. I think it was around the 10-yard line. And it was pushed to the right. So, and then, when you seen this symbol right here, Dade County sideline erupted. I mean, it was some magic at Magic Morgan Field.
That's what I was about to say, man. That stadium lived up to its name tonight, huh? Magic Morgan.
Yes, sir.
Kind of shakes things up in 7AA, huh?
Yeah, I can't remember the first time that we've actually sat here and said, I mean, are all the seeds available? I mean, who's?
Yeah.
I mean, Fannin got a convincing win tonight, but everybody else, Chattooga, I guess you could say handled Model a little bit, and then Pepper losing the Dade. It's going to be interesting. Interesting.
I was thinking on the way back home tonight, man. It kind of makes that Pepperell Model game pretty huge,
Oh, huge.
I mean, if Model were to beat Pepperell, I mean, you're looking at Pepperell possibly not making the playoffs, which probably hadn't happened since when? 1845?
Oh, the leather helmets. Playing in leather helmets back then, huh? Now I don't really know the last time Pepperell didn't make playoffs, especially in AA. I don't know. I can't tell you that. Maybe somebody can get on here and.
What they will tell you though, it's the first time Dade's beat them in 8 years.
Yeah, I mean,
huge win up there.
You reap what you sow. You put in the work like Dade County has, and you get good results.
Yeah, I haven't looked ahead to next week's 7AA schedule yet. I'd be curious to see what's on tap.
I am on my way at this very moment to doing that, just so we can kind of have some thought about it. I do know Chattooga's at Gordon Central, so that leaves some of the big dogs out there for next week. If I'm not mistaken, if this is correct here, Pepperell Fannin. And you got Coosa Model. South Pittsburgh is going to Dade County, and Chattooga will be at Gordon Central.
I mean, not an overly impressive schedule next week, but I mean, I guess that Pepperell Fannin game will be huge. I know going into the season, everybody thought that was going to be your 7AA championship, but possibly not, huh? What's up, Chris? How's it going, man? Big win for the Temple Tigers last night. Went down to Best and put the hammer down. I'd be curious to know how Cam Vaughn did. Yeah, this is a big one next week. Ringgold at Adairsville. Both of them sitting in the top 6 AAA. Ringgold, won 78-0, I saw.
Whew.
Over Murray County.
Whew. Can't do them boys like that. Hey, man. Talking about Chris there, I'd like to hear a little bit about you said Best Academy?
Yeah, Best Academy.
I'd like to hear a little bit about them and see what they got coming, because they're kind of the wild card in that 6A race. Yes. One of the teams we don't know much about.
Speaking of the 6A race, man, the big one up in Tryon tonight didn't go in the Tryon's favor, but a Bowden team's tough.
Yeah, I was getting texts back and forth all day, so I kind of give you a rundown how it goes, because that's what he was telling me. Scores that started out 7-7 and 14-7 at the half. And then Bowden blocked the punt, had the ball on Trine's 30-yard line, so that's a short field. But the guy said we've let them convert on about 10 fourth and long plays tonight. So I guess they were rolling the dice on 3rd and 4th and long and getting it. So
Yeah, I saw a text from somebody earlier that I guess trying to turn the ball over 3 or 4 times. I mean, you can't do that against a team like Bowden.
you can't. Yeah, a good team, you cannot turn the ball over. That's absolutely true. What about our Murchie Indians?
Yeah, how about those Indians, man? They picked off 4 passes tonight. Chandler DeSanto had over 300 yards offense, and they put the hammer down on Weaver, 45-7 to go 4-0 for the first time since 2009. I guess the other teams in 6A won tonight too. Mount Zion, I saw they won. Gordon Lee won over Southeast Whitfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was some big games. I really thought that Trine would really give them run for their money, and it sounds like you said, that there was just some turnovers and things like that happen, but you can't have it.
Yeah, I know Trine came out early, man. They scored the first touchdown of the game. Rob Brown, 19-yard touchdown, put them up 7-0, but kind of sounded like Bowden stepped up after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anybody in 6A really giving Bowden much of a contest.
No, I think Trine was your only competitor, which I think Trine can make a run. I think Trine is capable of getting to the 2nd or 3rd round, don't you?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And Bowden's probably capable of winning the thing.
Chris says he expects all the local teams to easily handle Best. Says they have a lot of talent, but very undisciplined.
Okay. Thank you for that, Chris.
That's still a tough place to go play, though, man. If you have to hop on the bus and drive an hour and a half.
Where's it at? Where do they play at? Best Academy?
I know the school's in the city of Atlanta. I don't know if they use a city stadium or if they have a stadium at the school. Maybe Chris can tell us.
Yeah, because I know the last time I went to down that way, the Hatfield Charter, I don't think they had a field. We played at Banneker High School.
I tell you, the thing that's impressive about Bowden is if you look at that game against Haralson, 14-10, 16-10, something like that. And Haralson's a beast,
Yeah, Haralson's putting up points left and right, by the 56 to, was it nothing tonight?
Yeah. They play at Lakewood Stadium down there in South Atlanta. So, yeah, that's a trek.
I know exactly where that's at. I've been to a few of those stadiums.
I'll actually be making that trip in a couple of weeks, man, with the Indians down there. So we'll see.
Okay. Ain't there like a Grady Stadium too? One called Grady? Yeah. I think I went and watched possibly Carver, Atlanta one time down there at Grady.
Yeah, I think that stadium's over there close to the zoo, more in downtown Atlanta. What you got?
It's a Sprite, but the can is green, and my green screen disappeared. It's hard to see it.
I think the other big score from tonight, man, that was surprising was Rome over Carrollton.
I think they were a little pissed off from last week's loss, and they kind of took it out on Carrollton, it looks like.
Yeah, I know at one point they were up 38-7 in the 3rd quarter. I think the score was
45-27 was the final, and like you said, a lot of the scoring was garbage time, 20 late in the game. Looking over the other scores, Dyersville 6 AAA. I don't know if Chris will be on tonight, but
yeah, I got
22-6 over Lafayette. Dyersville was trying to get themselves in the playoffs. That kind of makes it a tough road for Lafayette, but Coahula Creek with a win over LFO, that keeps them in the playoff race. Gonna need some more wins coming up, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's like 2 rooms over too, and you can still hear her.
I just sent Chris the link, man, so he should be on here shortly.
Okay, cool.
Chris
Anybody else?
Napier. Yeah, anybody else?
Yeah, anybody else? If you're interested, shoot us a message here or shoot me a message on my phone or Lawrence's phone, and we'll send you the link and you come talk live with us. If you don't want to show your mug, we're showing. The cameras hadn't broke yet, so
yeah, we don't care if you're ugly or
as long
whatever.
as you got clothes on, we're not going
to. Yeah. At least a shirt. At least a shirt.
Yeah, you got to have at least something on. I mean, we
need some. We need some of them Dade people to chime in, man.
Yeah, they may be still partying. They may have a few Sprites themselves. Not the kids, the adults. No, I mean, I know we joke, but that's a huge win. I guarantee you, if you looked at the pick'ems, and no disrespect to Dade, but if you looked at the pick'ems, they did not have Dade winning the game majority.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that pick 'em against the spread every week. And the spread tonight was 7.5 for Pepperell.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet 85% of the people pick Pepperell.
I was about
to win by at least 7.5.
I do a pick 'em as well. You're in my pick 'em as well. I'll look and I'll see what the percentage was there. I know it doesn't matter because the game's been played and Dade won, but it's just interesting looking at see what people thought. Responses here. Pepperell at Dade. 87.5% of the crowd picked Pepperell. And 87.5% was incorrect. Chattooga to beat Model today.
Yeah, I actually took Model in the points. I think it was 7.5?
Something like that. And that was.
I took them Blue Devils, man. I thought Model would win 17-14 is what I told somebody.
Well, I won't hide behind it. You asked me before the game last second, and what did I say? I said 27 to what?
14,
I think. I told somebody at halftime, I said, if you would have bet me, I said, I would have probably bet my whole paycheck that Chattooga wasn't going to score 35 points at halftime. If you would have said, hey, I'll take.
Whoa.
What you got?
Just pulling up your highlight there. Nick Hester, 49-yard touchdown run, man. He's flying.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. He's nursing an ankle injury. And he's got another gear, man. He does. Just like I said on the highlight there, I actually have the video that I made on here, shot out of a cannon. You can pull it up if you want to. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that in here. Let's see Nick Hester running. Boom.
Yeah, he just takes angles away.
That was late in the fourth quarter?
That was a late touchdown, yeah. That was I had to go back on there and look, but it was pretty late in the game.
Chris wants to know who our favorite is now in 7AA.
Right off the rip, you got to think Fannin, I guess. That would be the defending champs, and a guy, real popular guy, once said, "To beat a man, you got to beat the man." So until they go down, I'd have to ride with Fannin. And
yeah. I tell you what, if Pepperell goes up to Fannin next weekend and beats Fannin, man, it throws a whole wrench into everything, huh? It is wide open.
Well, that's the thing. We talked about this earlier in the year. Pepperell at Fannin, Chattooga at Fannin, Dade at Fannin. Yep. So Fannin has a definite home field advantage. It sets up great for them. Now, I'm not sure how they play them. I know Chattooga ends up the last 3 games of the year, against those 3 teams. So, tough.
Noah said we need to get Coach Poston on here and let him talk to y'all. Hey, trust me, man. I try to get him on here every week. I'd love to have Coach Poston on here.
I'd love to have any of the coaches. We'd love to hear their perspective. But a lot of times they, not saying he don't want to put his face out there, because I mean, big win, but it's easy to step in something real easy if you say the wrong thing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I don't think I'd want to be on here neither. Little as publicity as possible for the coach. He might want to push up his players, which is obvious. What play was that there? That's a pass play, ain't it? I think.
Yeah, Brody Mobbs.
Brody, he's been working on it. I mean, you could tell he's worked on throwing the ball
Coach.
because I mean we've both seen, that was a good play by Jalen too. Jalen's tough to defend. Basketball player, about 6'2", can jump out of the gym.
Man, he got hit and made the pass, huh?
Yeah, there's actually another. Yeah, he did get hit and make the pass. There's actually another one a little bit earlier that was just a heck of a catch by Jalen. He went up and just took it out of the air.
Chris wants to know what happened in the Calhoun-Cedartown game. I actually watched a little bit of it last night, and Calhoun's just a heck of a team. I don't think the Cedartown played as bad as the score shows. I think the game was a lot closer. But let's go.
Sorry.
What do we think about Ringo scoring 78 on Murray tonight? I'd like to see who did the scoring in the second half. I mean, if you put the JV in, they scored 20 points. I mean, that's just the way it is,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you got to play your starters the first half. I think it was 51-0 at halftime, and I'm sure the starters played the whole first half. I tell you what, though, that game next week in Nadersville, Ringo and Nadersville is going to be huge.
That's going to be a big one. I totally agree.
I'm trying to find these highlights from Darlington, and that's another team that's really been playing well. See, I got some stats here from Dade County.
All right, let's hear it.
Let me look at them here and see what's going on. They said Dade turned the ball over 5 times and still won.
Wow. I'd like to know how many possessions Pepperell got. Did they try to grind it out, or I didn't watch, but like the last maybe 4 minutes of the game, so I couldn't get a good read on what was going down.
Cody Williams, man, 14 carries for 122 yards. Caden Cooper went over 100 yards again. About as close as you can get in total yards, man. Knocking stuff off here. Can't see. I'm getting old.
Come on now.
They had 310 yards, and Pepperell had 371. Man, so about as even as you can get.
You got a stat total for Rogers?
All right, let's see what DJ did. $22 for 157.
Yeah. Man, that's
Dade was leading 14-10 going into the fourth. Winning touchdown, man. Cody Williams, 40-yard touchdown run.
I know, because I turned away. I was watching the end of the Chattooga game, and I turned away, and then I come back, and they were saying, touchdown, Dade County.
Boy, I don't know where the party spot is up there in Trenton, but I bet it's packed tonight.
Well, you would think that if they knew that the games were going on, that some of the places like Jefferson's or whatnot would stay open late, but I ain't seen a Jefferson's that stays open past 9 o'clock. I don't know why. on a weekend, that don't make much sense to me.
Here's a score from 5AA. Thomas County Central over Callaway, 24-8. Not overly surprising. I think Thomas County Central is what, 5A school?
They're big. I know that.
Glance at some of these other scores down here. Heard County, that game was 21-20 at the half. Central shut them down in the second half. Oh, look at Cohulla Creek. Third win of the season, man. A record for that program.
Yes, sir. I got one more of my highlights here I was going to throw up. You tell me if is it on the screen?
Yeah, it is. Oh, man.
Jalen going up to get it.
That's a good pass, too, from Brody, man.
Yeah, another one. I mean, they can get that going, and they kind of lull you to sleep with the run. I mean, they're going to run the ball a lot. I mean, that's just what Chattooga's going to do.
How many yards does LaShawn have tonight?
You know, he had to bust 100 because late in the game, man, he had one for. I know that one late in the game was 60 or plus, you know, and early in the game he had some good runs. That's what I was going to try to pull up and see if we could see some good runs from Lester. You know what really started the game out? It was kind of crazy because I expected the model to try to grind it out, you know. And the first three drives, model went backwards. Man, they were 3 and out right back to Chattooga, and Chattooga put the ball in the end zone, and that kind of gave them a little cushion. Start of the second half, you know, Chattooga was up, but model they did their best to kind of hang around there. 13 had a big game for Model, man. He had like a 65-yard run where he just rumbled. It was like watching Jerome Bettis run track. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was rumbling, stumbling.
13. I'm trying to think who 13 was. I think he's Samples, right? Isn't that his name?
Might be. Big guy.
Fullback,
Plays a
right?
little fullback, running back. Yeah. That would be them. Had another pretty good game from Chattooga's fullback, number 8, Devin Harosh. He carried the ball again. He probably had 75 yards or so. I'll have to look at the stats later. I don't have anything live with me now, but yeah. But Lester had some good runs, and he's getting a little more healthy, and that's big.
Let me glance at some of these other scores I haven't seen tonight. Coosa, I guess they took it on the chin over there in Cherokee, huh?
I could only imagine how many times the big back from Cherokee had the ball. I mean, he's a bruiser. He is a bruiser.
Cherokee Bluff, 40, Gilmer, 6. That's not too surprising. Cherokee Bluff team is loaded.
That's what I thought. I thought they were pretty good squad.
Yeah, Temple opens up their 5AA schedule in a couple of weeks, man. I'm ready for that one. They're gonna play Hurd. Hurd's always dangerous.
Hurd County, huh?
Yeah, we talked about this one a little earlier. If you just joined us, man, Rome 45-27 over Carrollton. I mean, Rome had a 38-7 lead at one point. I think that loss last week, man, put a little fire under their butts. I guess you can say butts on the show.
Yeah, I think you can say butts. I'm gonna give a little props to Devin Harosh, which was last week's player of the game for me. He had another big game this week and had some good carries. Plays middle linebacker. Got banged up a little bit. Had to come out for a few plays, but right back in there. You know how fullback is, man. They're just every play, beating and banging every play.
Here's a little highlight from North Murray and Sonoraville.
All right.
This is Griffin to McDade. I know they had a huge week last week. I don't know, their stat totals from tonight, but I love that receiver right there, Dade.
Oh, he's
McDade.
hard to handle. He is hard to handle, that's for sure.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there watching, man, that was at the Rome Carrollton game tonight, I'd be curious to know what happened to Carrollton. If it was turnovers, if Rome just came out and put the hammer down, or what. I guess 6 AAA right now. You've got 3 undefeated teams at the top. You've got Rockmart, Ringgold, and Adairsville all fighting for that top spot.
I can't tell if when I'm sharing, I can't see the screen. Is that up?
Yeah, well now it's just all your pictures.
All right, how about that?
Yeah, that's it right there.
It's a little Devin Harosh. Give him a little bit decently athletic for a fullback now. A little spin move.
Boom.
Right up the gut.
I saw a picture of him on Twitter this week getting his Player of the Week award, man. He's a pretty cool looking dude, man, with his cowboy boots on, his big belt buckle.
Hey man, he's an interesting guy. He's always played right in high school, man, or in the rec league. He was actually the running back, and he's just kind of evolved into the fullback, kind of a bigger guy, big weights guy too, up there in the top, all your lifting categories. Burdick had a big run. He actually carried the ball a couple times tonight.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me this week, man, how much do they use him on offense?
Not much. Just to be honest with you, they don't use him too much. He plays a lot on defense, and he's a big time player, obviously.
There you go. You got that little pitch on there. That's boom.
I'm not going. I wish I could find some of the big hits, man. He had some big hits. It was just huge. It seems like every game is like a highlight reel for him.
I'm gonna put this on, man. From our friends at Team FYN. This is a Coach Peavy, man.
All right.
Well, maybe.
To the end of this, we had good.
Here with head coach Scott Peavy for the Haralson Co Rebels. Coach, talk about the preparation coming this week, coming off the bye week. How did you keep the kids focused?
Well, that was a good thing. It's, we spent really the off week just trying to get everybody back healthy and back, just everybody back, get their legs back up underneath them and all that. So it was really good for us, and we got some guys that were dinged up back playing hard, and so it was a good week for us. It was a good week off, and then you do this to play on Friday night, so I'm glad that our kids didn't have a lull, that we really played hard on Friday night.
I know y'all open region play next week. You got travel to Elbert County. Talk about how you're prepared for region play.
Well, we don't. Elbert's not there. We got one more. And Elbert's a good test for us. They're a good football team. They're very athletic. And we didn't get to play them last year. They had COVID, and we didn't get to play. So got to make a long trip. Got to make be a good little road trip for us. A little over 3 hour trip. And so, the rest of our schedule.
Coach Peavy, man, he's a heck of a dude. I don't know if you ever met him.
I have not.
Heck of a head coach. Nick says he thinks Rome was ready because of the loss to South Paulding, which we agreed on.
Yeah.
Carrollton came in a little overconfident. Said the Carrollton quarterback sacked 3 times, man, which is a lot for him. And Rome is a young team, man. They're getting better every week. A lot of young dudes, man. They're going to be heck next couple of years, you know?
Oh, man, yeah. To go along with the young kids that they're going to have come up, you know, it's going to be big.
Hey, man, we got Donnie on here, Haralson County.
Hear me pretty good?
DJ. What's going on, man?
What's up? Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got you. Tell us about Haralson County.
Well, today, everything was really clicking. The defense got 2 big interceptions for them. One going for a pick 6. Wesley Cole, one of their senior defensive backs, he had 1 interception. Go along, he had a 70-yard rushing touchdown as well early in the game. JoJo Chandler had a receiving touchdown, and he was the one that had the pick 6. And then Clay Hyde added on 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown to go with that. Both Clay and Wesley both had over 70 yards, 70-yard rushing touchdowns.
How many yards did Clay end up with for the game? How many tackles?
I don't know that yet. Coach Peavy said he would send that to me Sunday once I get everything. But I know he was over 100 around halftime. They put the JV in with about 7 minutes left in the third. The JV guys came in. They scored 2 or 3 touchdowns. I can't really remember, but the JV looked good too. JV was driving. JV was pushing. So yeah, all around Haralson County, they look solid. They have a lot of guys that were stepping up. Like you seen in the video that I played. Coach Peavy was talking about, they had a lot of people that was banged up. A lot of good guys that was banged up, ready to come in. They got healthy, got in to come in to play. And I made a mistake because on Max Prep it says that Elbert is a region game, but Elbert's not a region game for them this year. So it's not. They won't open up region play next week, but it will, like Coach Peavy said, they're very athletic and they're ready to go. They're tough. So that will be a very good, very good game for them to go and play to be able to start region play the following week.
Yeah, I think the best thing that happened for Haralson County, kind of like Rome, is when they went down to Manchester and got beat. I think it opened their eyes. I think they were probably a little overconfident, and then they went down there and got beat, man, and they've just been on fire since then.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot. Going back to my senior year when I played at Haralson County, we the first time that we had a winning record, we was 3-0, went into LFO. Our heads were a little too high. LFO knocked us off on homecoming, and that little spark under us ended up making it to the first round of playoffs. And like you were saying, I think it did it for them too. That Manchester game, it kind of turned them around, because I was looking at the box score and all the stats for that Manchester game, and Manchester had 2 people that was over 130 yards rushing on them. And that's uncommon. Haralson County usually has a pretty good defense, but to have 2 people that rush for over 130, and I think their leading rusher had 187 yards, if I'm not mistaken. That's a big fire, because Coach Peavy, he always coaches, you won't hit them in the mouth every play so that they tap out. So I know that lit a fire on the Coach Peavy to get the kids straight.
Yeah. That's a telltale sign of a good coach, a good team, is a team that goes out and loses to somebody they're not supposed to, man, and how they respond,
Yes, sir.
And Peavy's a heck of a coach, man. I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple of times. Great guy. Pulling for those guys.
He's a heck of a person. Taught me a lot of life lessons. Taught me a lot of things that dads would teach you. As I played under him, and now being able to interview him and talk to him, man to man and everything like that. He's a great guy. Somebody you can go to advice, and also somebody that won't steer you wrong. You go with him with a problem, you think that there's a problem, and he's going to steer you to the right direction. And that's what makes him a good coach, even with the players. A player come in and be like, hey, coach, I'm not really feeling this anymore. And he's going to be like, well, you know, you don't have to be here if you don't want to be. You know, everything's going to be great. You're going to be great whether you're here or you're not with us. So that's the great thing about him. He has so much support for the football program, the cheerleading program, everything around. You know, before Coach Peavy came, you know, it was like everybody was kind of split off into groups. Coach Peavy came and he really reunited all the sports and all the band and all that together, because you know before it just wasn't that. And he came in and he was a big personal character. You know, you hold yourself high and you hold everybody around you to a high standard, and then that's how we're going to be. And then on Friday nights when we play, you're going to play to a high standard, and then people will see it and expect it from you every week.
Very, very good, man. Hey, thanks for coming on this week, man. Come back any Friday night you want to, you know.
Yes, sir. And I got one more thing. I know y'all was
Yeah.
talking about, you know, the Pepperell game. You know, I was up at Pepperell last week when they took on Temple, and you know, I actually had Pepperell, you know, winning the game this week. It surprised me because last week, even though Pepperell had a great offensive showing, but Temple's defense was really, really, really stout. They had a lot of guys up front that was fast, that was quick, that was always in the backfield. You know, but you know, I was expecting Pepperell to come out and put the hammer down, and you know, especially traveling up to Dade County. Like I interviewed the coach, he's talking about, you know, it kind of hit home to him because that he's from Dade County, so he wanted to get up there and, you know, get the level on him. But yeah, you know,
that's a tough place to play up there, though, you know.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a Friday night in Georgia. You know, you never know
Magic
what
Morgan Stadium. Yeah.
All
right, man. We'll appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night.
Yes, sir.
You too. Awesome.
Right here, man. Gordon Lee won 29-0 instead of 19-0, which is a little better score. I mean, that's.
We apologize for that. I will make that correction immediately.
That's actually a pretty good shutout, man, because I know Southeast got a couple of guys that are averaging over 100 yards a game.
Boom. It will work. It will be there now. You asked about Lester. I found you a Lester highlight. Little toss sweep. And you better tackle.
Yeah. That is the Lester I've been used to seeing.
Watch this guy. Get off me.
Boom.
He's getting back to 100%. He's not there yet. He's still probably 75, 80. But it's gonna be huge if he can get back there. He's pumped, obviously.
No disrespect to Gordon Central, man, but hopefully he can get some rest next week, you know?
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand. Well, I know you got to run here in a little bit.
Yeah, so Cahola got the homecoming win, but played pretty flat. LFO sideline was much more inspired after a pick six. Cahola's got to step it up if they want to fight for a playoff spot. They got Murray next week. I mean, that's a game that they have to win if they want to make the playoffs.
They have to win that. They should win that, I think.
Man.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna head out, and you gonna go over all the games for everybody?
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna take a trip through next week's games, through all the classifications, and we'll end it after that.
All right, man. I'm off next Friday, man, so I can be on here as long as you need me to be next week. But I'm out of here, man.
Yeah, I got you. You gotta go make some real money.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Later.
All right. We'll see you. All right. Let's see here. I'm looking through the comments. Where does Chattooga come up with the running backs every year? Lester's a senior. It seems like he's been there forever. The young kid that one of my highlights on Nick Hester, he's a little bit smaller than Lester, but he's a blazer. I don't know. The rec league normally has some good running backs coming up, and sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't. I don't really know of the next one to look out for, but it seems like there's always a running back of some kind. I mean, I remember back you had Ronnie Wiggins, and then, I mean you had some big time like Sonoris Perry. Played a little bit in the NFL, played at Louisville. EJ Lackey, he transferred to Rome, but he was there for a few years. Had some good yards. And then obviously Lester and them right now. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. Then we got Chris that might want to pop on and help go through these games and talk a bit about 6 AAA. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and start going over next week's games. I'll keep a look at my comments here if anybody has anything to say about any of this week's games. There's Chris. What's up, man?
What's happening?
Nothing much. You just getting home?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
busy
figured.
night.
Yeah, Lawrence just jumped off. I don't know if you caught it or not, but he just jumped off. He had to go to work to make some real money.
Hold on. Let me.
You just getting home?
All right. Yeah. All right. I had 2 windows open. I was hearing.
Okay.
I was hearing myself.
A little reverb.
Yeah. It's been a busy night. I was trying to go through all the scores and getting my kids. It was senior night, so we were busy.
Yeah.
Interesting night of football looking through all the scores. First, the game I was at, North Murray held on right there at the end. Sonorville started to come back. They got an onside kick. I tagged a few highlights. I tagged Lawrence in them. Let me see if I can tag you in them and see if you can pull these up.
Well, I could probably pull them on Lawrence. That's no big deal.
Yeah, look at that. I tagged you, and there should be 4 highlights on that one thread. There's 1 touchdown in there. Jackson Pate hit somebody on a touchdown, and I couldn't make out the number. And the video I have of it is kind of blurry. I was wondering if somebody could help me out who that was.
Let's see here. I could probably just pull you up.
Yeah, you'll see 4 highlights right there in one thread. So Marengo was big over Murray County. We knew that was coming. That was a 51-0 at half, and I'm sure the JV put some points on the board in the second half. How about Dade County?
Yes, sir.
How about Dade County?
Yes, sir. I watched the end of it. Like I was telling Lawrence earlier, we talked about it. I watched the end of it, and it was man, they earned it. I mean, they went down the field. They were down. It seems like there was about 3 or 4 minutes left on the clock. They were down 20-14. Drove down the field, scored on a 40-yard run, kicked the extra point, got a flag on the extra point, backed it up. Had to kick it again.
Oh, wow.
I mean, super pressure. Made it again. And then Pepperell actually drove down the field. And with 10 seconds left, they had a timeout. They ran the ball and got it toward the middle of the field. called timeout on about the 10 or 12-yard line, and poor kicker pushed the ball wide right.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I see Adairsville beat Lafayette. That was a pretty close score. Lafayette was pretty pumped for that game. Adairsville's good, man. They're loaded. I don't know if you can.
This is your highlight here.
Yeah. That was Wyatt Springfield. That was a Jackson Pate pass to Wyatt Springfield.
That was on line too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was a nice ball. That was a pretty ball right there.
Isn't Pate a young kid? Pretty young.
He's a sophomore. Yeah, he throws a real pretty ball. This is Griffin hitting Michael McDade for an 8-yard TD right there.
Oh, that's like taking candy from a baby right there.
Yeah, it's McDade he's tough, man. Then on down.
Just post up and.
Well, yeah, if you go up, there's a couple more in that thread.
There's one.
This is the one. I don't know who caught this screen pass for a touchdown for Sonorville.
Boy, I thought I could get the number there, but it was harder than.
I'm going to have to slow it down and blow it up. There's another one in there that you'll like. And I had these on my phone. I didn't have my camera out.
I got you.
There's this one right here. Check this out. This is Jaden Rice. This is a short pass from Griffin. And look at this kid move. Finds the pylon.
Sound like there was a pretty good crowd there tonight.
Yeah, it was senior night, and yeah, it was pretty good sized crowd.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was.
Yeah, this is lining up some big games for next week. I think we're going to have Rockmart or North Murray will be down at Rockmart, and Ringgold will be down at Adairsville. So next week is very important.
Oh yeah, for that region, big time. I mean, Dade County threw a wrench into everything. Dade will have their shot at Fannin, Chattooga, and all the rest of the guys, but Pepperell has to lick their wounds and trek to Fannin next week.
Yeah, and I was really surprised by that Dalton score. South Paulding beat Rome last week, and then Dalton had a great first half, let South Paulding come back, and eventually South Paulding won. But Rome over Carrollton, man. I looked at Carrollton as a legit contender for a state title, and for Rome to beat Carrollton tonight, that's huge. So it was a very interesting night looking through all the scores. I would really like to see the box score from that Ringgold game. Who did all that scoring in the first half?
Man, there's been a lot of very interesting games, and I mean, I'm a Chattooga guy, and I cover Chattooga, and I did not expect 49 points against Model that coming in had a stingy defense.
Yeah, Model's been stingy all year on defense.
They gave up 6 to Lafayette. I know they hadn't scored a lot on offense, but they only gave up 6 to Lafayette, which is a decent team. I mean, we're seeing, they did get beat by Daresville, but
yeah. Now, did you see that Heard County Central score?
Yeah, I have it on here. Let's see here. I can pull it up right quick.
That is a huge, huge win for Central.
35-20, yeah.
Heard County.
That's what I have, yeah.
Heard County is 2A, but they are really, really tough. And Central, I thought Heard County would probably win that game. That makes next week very interesting. Central will be at Northwest Whitfield in 7-4A when they start region play. I think that's one of the best games in the area. So if anybody's looking to cover a good game, be at Northwest High School next week, because that's going to be a very important game. There's a huge amount of implications with that game. I think when you look back at 7-4A from, the end of the season and you look and see where 2, 3, and 4 in the playoff seeding wind up, that's the first game you're going to look at So that one's going to be a very important one. I'm sure Coach Robinson over there is getting his boys ready for that one. That's a very big game right there. Even though it's right at the start of region play, I think that Central Northwest game, that's going to have huge implications. I really think Cedartown's got that region. I think they're the best in the region there, though.
Man, that's I was actually kind of shocked at the score from the Calhoun Cedartown game. Calhoun,
yeah,
I mean, just
Calhoun's on a different level, man. They are legit.
Yeah, I understand that. That really makes me think Macaulay, Tennessee, has just got to be like ridiculous. I mean,
they are. I know. I thought Southeast would have scored more points or any points at all. I mean, they lost, what was that, 29-0 to Gordon Lee?
29-0. Yeah, we just had we had 19-0 and we had a score correction. It was actually 29-0.
Chattooga. So Lester, how is he doing with the injuries? Because I mean, he apparently is doing pretty good. If they put 49 points up, I'm sure he had a handful of that.
I would say he probably went over 100. He had a couple touchdowns. He's getting better. He's not 100%. You know, I think earlier in the year, he was like, I'm going to say 60, 70%. I think he might be up above that, but he's not 100% because, I mean, you can just tell he's just a tackle. You can't tackle him, when he's 100%, or it makes it hard to tackle him. But they mixed it up a little bit. The fullback getting some carries. They actually had 2 touchdown passes today, so they're showing the ability to throw the ball, which that's huge when you got some decent running backs.
How about Bowden and Tryon? I thought that game would go down to the wire. I thought that'd be a lot closer than what we see there.
Yeah, and Chattooga has went. Going back to Chattooga, sorry, I covered him, but they actually went to Brody Mobbs at quarterback a lot more, and they'll mix in Hester in the backfield, and you better catch him. He reminds me a lot of the running back for Pepperell. You get him in the second level.
DJ Rogers.
He's not as squatty as DJ. DJ's a little shorter, I think. Probably not much, but I'll just do a quick screen share here and show you this play. This is the only play that he was in the backfield on this particular drive, and he's just like shot out of a cannon. Get a good block, and he's gone.
He found a seam. Yeah. And he took it.
And then if you notice the flashing lights, Chattooga got a new light system. So they got like the black out, red out. They get the flashing lights going now.
I like that. I think Bowden has also got that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these other scores. Man, 6 AAA next week is going to be fire. Ringgold at Adairsville. North Murray down at Rockmart. Going to look at some of these other games on the schedule. Well, how about Coahulla Creek? Win number 3. It happened much earlier in the season than we thought it would. We had a feeling before the season that this was coming with Coahulla Creek. They're not done. I think I'm wanting to say they got Murray next week?
I think it's Murray County. I think that's a winnable game for them.
Sure. So, I mean, it's big for them. I celebrate tonight. When they wake up tomorrow, they will be in the middle of a heated playoff race.
Yeah.
So that's something nobody expected us to say, with Coahulla Creek this season. So that is pretty cool for them. I was talking to Matt Locklear earlier, and he had sent me some videos of them celebrating after win 3, and I'm excited for them. I'll have to download those and put them on Twitter later on.
Yeah, there was a comment on here earlier. Said Coahulla got the homecoming win, but the individual felt like they played pretty flat. Said LFO sideline was much more inspired. They had a pick 6.
That pick 6 was their first points of the season. So that's why they were pretty pumped.
I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He said he feels like they got to step it up if they want to fight for a playoff spot, and they have Murray next week. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they do. I think they're favored next week pretty heavily. I think they need to come out and
handle business.
Yeah, handle business. Win the game you should win in the way you should win it. So, and see what else. Looking at these scores scrolling by, man. Yeah, I thought Cedartown offense would have done more than that last night. Or Murchie.
5-0, right? Or 4-0?
4-0. No, they're 5-0, I think.
5-0, yeah, I think it's 5, yeah.
45-7. Heard County model. Yeah, it's 49 points against that model defense. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But.
And that Pepperell Dade County, man, wow. The monkey. Fanning big over.
Yeah, third monkey mentality.
Third monkey mentality up there at Dade County. We're going to have to get some Dade County folks on the show here.
There's been some comments. Let's see here. Flip up earlier. First comment. First time Dade has beat Pepperell in 8 years.
8 years.
Yes, sir. Noah Brown. He's constantly on the show.
Yeah, so, North Murray, they beat Sonoraville tonight. It's 27-20. They led most of the game, and I'm telling you, Seth Griffin is something else. Legit star quarterback that I've been watching the past few weeks. I think he was just under 1,000-yard passing after 3 games. I'm thinking he hit maybe 300 again tonight. I think he had a couple touchdown passes, but he was under 100 yards off the lead for the 3A in the state stats for passing, and he was the only one that only played 3 games. Everybody else had 4 games in, so he may have come close to taking the lead tonight. Who knows? But he's got a trio of wide receivers that are phenomenal. Of course, everybody knows Michael McDade, and you should know that name. That's a star player right there. Big 6'4", probably around 190-pound receiver with speed. Jaden Rice, I think we had one of his highlights earlier, spinning into the end zone. That kid's something else to watch run. And then Judson Petty. I think the biggest part of that game was North Murray intercepted 3 passes tonight. I think Sean Myers had an interception right there on the first play of the game. Seth Griffin on defense also had an interception, and Judson Petty for the second week in a row had another interception. So I think that was the biggest thing that led to the North Murray victory tonight.
Yeah, North Murray's got some big games coming up in order to.
Oh yeah,
there's just a ton of talent. There's a ton of talent in this region. There's going to be 2 teams that are probably playoff worthy that are going to be left out.
Yeah, and there could be, and with 9 teams, you can have a 6-4 team at home in the playoffs, and I hate it. But we don't have that at-large bid that we used to have the luxury of with in 3A. We lost that last. Before last season, we lost the at-large bid, but we could use it this year. We probably got 6 teams that could probably good enough to make the playoffs.
You got Ringo at 5-0. You got Daresville at 4-0. You got Rockmart 3-1. Lafayette's 3-2. North Mary's 3-1. Kahoo Creek's 3-2.
Yeah, let me lay out a scenario. I've been going over a lot of playoff scenarios, and maybe next week we can get with Tim Tao over there at the voice of the Rebels up there in Fannin County and see if we can do a podcast where we can talk about some of these playoff scenarios and 7-2A and
we should have a little more idea of what's going to happen in 2A after next week for sure.
Yeah. And 7-4A is also another region that I think is going to have a bunch of teams fighting for maybe 3 spots. You could have 5 teams. But we need to get all these playoff scenarios. But one that's really stood out to me, if anybody is listening and can put a game on TV, let me tell you about it. Let's say Ringgold runs the table through the rest of their schedule. Mm-hmm. And they're undefeated in the region at 7-0. Let's say Rockmart also does the same thing, and they're undefeated at 7-0. Do you know who plays the last game?
Rockmart and Ringgold.
Rockmart and Ringgold.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so say that scenario plays out. I'm not saying it'll play out because it's going to be very tough. There's a lot of very good football teams here in the region, but you know, if anybody's looking for that last week of the regular season, a great game to put on, if that scenario plays out, that one would be a good one because that would be a true championship game with a trophy waiting for the winner, you know, on the sideline.
I think looking at their schedule, I think Ringo would be favored and all the rest of the games all the way to the Rockmart game, I think.
Yeah. And I think Rockmart's probably going to be favored next week. And, you know, with North Murray going into Rockmart, Ringgold is going into Adairsville, and, you know, they're going to be fired up after they have seen what Ringgold's put on the field this season.
You know, I think I've seen Adairsville, and I mean, no disrespect to them, I think I would take Ringo in that matchup. Now they're not going to score. They're not going to score basketball numbers like they did today against Murray County, but
yeah, Ringgold's got so many athletes. Yeah, so many athletes and playmakers, man. So Adairsville Ringgold's going to be very interesting next week. I know there's going to be a lot of people keeping their eyes on it, and if anybody's got the stats, you know, Dumas and Hill and Parker and how Peyton Williams and all those guys up there for Ringgold, post those, man. We'd love to see those and how everybody did.
There's no telling how many yards that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't post stats on Max Preps, but it probably wouldn't be there this soon anyway. But
we'll see them eventually.
Yeah. I'm gonna run through next week's game, starting with with single A.
That'll work.
Kind of quickly talk about some of the interesting games. Tryon had a tough loss today to Bowden, which we kind of expected that to be the quote-unquote region championship game. I believe it probably was. Now Tryon, you know, should be battling for home field, second place, home field. I think, you know, I talked to Lawrence about it. I think Tryon's capable of going 2 or 3 rounds deep, depending on the matchups. You know, I think Bowden may be, you know, one of your favorites. I mean, you know, in the public side, they may meet again. You know, that would be crazy if they'd meet again. But Southeast Whitfield is traveling to Tryon next week, and there'll be a bunch of angry dogs ready to get after.
I'd imagine so.
Bowden is on the road at Gordon Lee, so travel up there. It's a good little trip there now.
Yeah.
Bowden to Gordon Lee. Mount Zion is at Armurchie. Mount Zion's 4-1. Armurchie, it says 4-0, but I'm pretty sure that win tonight puts them at 5-0.
Yeah, it probably hasn't updated. I think they were 4-0. I looked at it this week.
No, Towns, Coosa, Southeast, and Weaver. So now they're 4-0.
That is 4-0. Huh. It's still a heck of a start for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, Mount Zion's traveling to Armurchie, and that's all the single A public for that particular week. 7 AA, which is, you know, the region that Chattooga, Model, Dade, those fellows are in. Dade's actually be a non-region matchup for Dade next week. South Pittsburgh, Tennessee is coming to Dade County.
Wow.
So that could be interesting.
That will be very interesting. I mean, I think they match up well. I mean, that's two schools. I think Dade is a little bit bigger size school as far as the number of kids, but South Pittsburgh is legendary program, single A ball in Tennessee.
Yeah, South Pittsburgh is sitting at 2-0. They played tonight. I don't have a result yet. They played North Jackson tonight. Let's see if I can. It's not a big deal. Anyway, 2-0, scoring big points so far. So let's see what Dade County can do with them. I think they normally. I've seen Dade scrimmage South Pittsburgh a few different times, so it's really not that far from Dade County.
No, not far at all. I don't know why they don't play much, border wars, games.
Speaking of border wars, Coosa went over the border to Cherokee County and come back with a goose egg, 56-0, Cherokee County, Alabama.
Wow.
Oof. But Coosa's on the road at Model next week. That could be a very interesting game.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it out, Ryan. If you want to make the playoffs, you better win that game, either team.
Yeah.
Model wants to make the playoffs. They better win that game. Same thing for Coosa. I know they're 0-4, but anything can happen. Chattooga's on the road to Gordon Central. Last time we went to Gordon Central, it was raining like crazy. There was a lightning storm. The game was over at like 1:30 in the morning or something crazy like that. It was.
What is that, in 2019?
A couple years ago, yeah, I think so.
October 25th.
Do you remember?
Look it up.
And then, like we talked about before, Pepper was at Fannin. Just because Pepper lost today, I'm not going to, count them out against Fannin. I think that's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah,
we're really going to see. Somebody asked earlier who we liked. And I quoted a famous guy to beat the man, or to be the man, you got to beat the man. So Fannin is the man right now. So
I still wouldn't count Pepperell out.
I agree. Anytime you got Rogers in the backfield,
DJ Rogers is a playmaker, man. He can
pop
do
you
a lot.
80-yard throw, and the quarterback's not terrible. They got a few guys that he can throw it to, so should be interesting. I'm gonna move on to. We talked about some of your region. Is there any games that we didn't talk about?
Yeah, we mentioned North Murray at Rockmart and Ringgold at Adairsville.
Yep, those will be big time games.
Yes, and then we'll also have Lafayette, Sonorville, Creek. It's got welcoming Murray County, I think.
It's at Murray.
Oh, it's at Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And where's Lafayette?
Lakeview's at Sonorville, and I do not see Lafayette on the schedule for that.
They're on an off week.
Yeah.
LFO at Sonorville.
So they're at North Murray Rockmore, man. That's gonna be. I know that's exactly where you'll be. You'll be in Rocktown down there.
No, that LFO at Sonorville game. This is. I don't think Sonorville has beat LFO. They may have beat them in 2018. It may have been 2017 since Sonorville has beat LFO. So that's a very important game.
I'll tell you what, it's going to happen this year. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I got a feeling.
7 AAA. Cedartown has Pickens. Now, I'm going to tell you right now.
4A? 7 4A?
Yeah, 4A. 7 4A, yeah. Watch out. Pickens is a good team now.
Yeah.
Now, I know Cedartown just took it on the chin to Calhoun, But Pickens is coming the right direction. I like their coach over there. I like their situation.
Yeah.
I'm going in the right direction.
And Pickens, they were able to put some points up on Cedartown on that defense last year. Yeah. I think they put 20 points up or something.
With a rookie quarterback. Sam Stretcher, he's another year older. They got some weapons out there. New head coach, kind of a new setup. We were actually going to Pickens. Chattooga was one of the COVID weeks that we missed, and that was unfortunate because they say that it's another good backdrop, just like North Murray is. And
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
I was
beautiful
excited about
stadium.
going over there, but we'll have to delay till next time. You got Ridgeland at Heritage.
That could be interesting.
We talked about Southeast at Trine, and then Central on the road at Northwest Woodfield.
That's a big one. That is a huge, huge game in our area for 7-4A. And so is Ridgeland Heritage. But the two big ones I'm looking at for 7-4A is that Central at Northwest and the Pickens down at Cedartown. I think we'll find out a lot about that region as region play gets underway in 7-4A.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
Looking at the next one, 7-5A, Hiram is at Calhoun, and I believe the Yellow Jacket is going to conquer the Hornet this time.
Yeah. The Yellow Jacket looks really good. I watched some of their game last night, man. They're loaded. Calhoun is loaded at every position. I mean, there's not really any weak spots.
But man, when you say loaded, I mean 5A is loaded too. I mean 5A is going to have. I mean playoffs are going to be.
Oh yeah, brutal. Yeah, more so. I think 3A and 5A playoffs. I mean it's tough. I don't think a lot of the top 4A teams match up well against the 5A teams, but I do think a lot of the top 3A teams match up well against the top 5A teams. It's just weird. 4A is kind of off in their own little thing there.
Yeah, and Cass gets to go on the road and face Cartersville.
Yep, my dog Liam, he wants to be on the show. Liam, say
hi. Oh man, yeah, he wants his ears rubbed is what he wants. He says, "What are you doing?"
Do you happen to have a 6A? What about Dalton and Rome?
Yeah, I'll pull that up. Let's see here. Pull up there. Rome is. It's not there yet. Okay, here we go. Rome is. Yeah, Dalton is at Rome.
Wow. Okay, that'd be a big one, considering what Dalton did with South Paulding tonight. South Paulding beat Rome last week. Rome come out big tonight in Carrollton, but I think a lot of people were thinking that South Paulding would beat Dalton by 20-some points. Dalton led most of that game, and it wasn't until late till it was finally decided. And it was a high scoring. I mean, I think it was 55-48.
It was.
So that was something. Yeah. So that makes next week actually really interesting, Dalton and Rome.
I mean, I'm looking here. At halftime, it was 41-34 Dalton.
Wow, 41 points. They must have got their act together on defense.
That's a track meet.
Yeah, that's a lot of points for a half.
Yeah, and then they only scored 7 in the second half.
They could have kept that going. That'd have been a huge, huge win for Dalton.
What's crazy? Dalton played that good against a team that just beat Rome, and Dalton's coming into the Rome game. They'll be 1-4 coming into the Rome game. And
Dalton also played Calhoun really tough. I think they only lost to Calhoun by a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown game. Yep.
So every play matters, man. Every play matters.
Guess who plays this next week? South Paulding is at Carrollton, so they get a shot at it.
I can't imagine Carrollton is not going to be ready for that game. So I expect big things. Morris and that offense they run, they can score points on anybody. But I guess they met their match tonight with that Rome defense.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that it's unbelievable that, I mean, this is a team that Rome beat or that beat Rome. And Carrollton's a team that Rome beat pretty handily, actually. And,
but next week, I'm expecting the team that Rome beat to beat the team that beat Rome.
I know, that's just
it's a wild game.
That could be a good one, though.
Yeah.
And then the rest of that region, East Paulding and Alexander and Paulding County, has Douglas. Douglas is undefeated still. Going up here to this 5 and 6A, that makes me think about the reclass stuff that we talked about before.
Yeah, the multiplier. They're talking about multipliers and looking at how the classifications are changing when they add a 2 multiplier, a 2.5 or 3. You would see. I think Bremen would be a 3A team now, and several other people would move up.
One of the things that I saw is I'm not sure if it would be considered official, but they voted to remove the restriction, to going into 7A. So there'll be some teams that would not bump into 7A that actually will. Now, I don't know if it'll be any of our local teams.
No, I don't know. I don't see Dalton moving into 7A.
Yeah, I don't know the last numbers,
Yeah.
But I know that like you said, Bremen, a couple of teams that have a lot of out of county or out of area, I guess you'd say.
Like a GAC would go from 3A to 5A.
Yeah, I think they had a representative at the meeting because they don't, those type teams like that are going to get not really shafted. I mean, they're going to have to play to win. I mean, they're going to be in difficult regions.
Yeah.
Way bigger classifications. I mean, I remember not too long ago, GAC was 2A.
Yeah.
I mean,
and GAC is really having a rough year. They got off to a slow start. But, Region 8, I think, is who Region 6 plays in the first round of the playoffs, and Region 8 is brutal. I don't know if anybody's looked over there, but there's no cupcakes over there in Region 8.
Yeah.
Every team over there is tough.
It's kind of like looking at who 7AA matches up against in the playoffs. It's not going to be fun.
Yep. All right. Well, I got to get off here. You just want to go over all the rest of them. I got to get up in about 6 hours and make my way to Nashville. We're going to go up and watch Vanderbilt and Georgia tomorrow.
Sweet. That sounds a lot better than me because in about 4.5 hours, my alarm will be going off. I got to go to work at 5:45.
Well, I'll take the extra sleep you missed.
All right, brother. All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, I'll see everybody.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Nick says that the Calhoun-Cedartown game was closer than the score indicated. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us. I'm out of focus for some reason. Hello. Anyway, there we go. Back in focus. We'll be back next week. And as always, there'll probably be some very interesting games. You can go back and watch us at any time, and the ticker will be on the bottom. Don't forget that, if you want to be on the show, we can send you a link straight to your phone. You use your smartphone and your forward-facing camera, and you can talk to us right there. You don't have to have no fancy green screen and everything. You don't have to have any of that. If you don't want to have your face on it, you can just take your face off and, use the sound. Talk to us. All righty. That'll be it. We'll see you next time.